What's up, guys? All right, let's get back to this damn transmission cooler. I ended the last video, I just kind of ended it. I didn't do an outro or anything like that explaining what was going on. More or less, I was in the middle of making the bracket, figured out that I took my measurement wrong, and it was late in the day, so I said, screw it, went upstairs, edited the video, put it up. So let me kind of show you what happened here. Okay, so here's the heat shield that came off of the car. You can see the stock holes for mounting it. And then here's the cooler that's going on. So these are both in the orientation that they'll be on the car. So the front of the car is this way. Actually, I think this thing has an arrow on it. Yeah, there's an arrow right there. And basically these holes here are narrower than these. I don't have the measurements in front of me, but these are in more. However, these are way further out than here. And as you can see, these aluminum brackets, I made it just a little bit wider than the holes themselves. I have no idea what I was thinking. I knew that they needed to be wider, but when I started measuring stuff and cutting stuff, I didn't measure it and cut it big enough, so I made them narrow. So that meant that that was no good. So I went today and I got some material. I got another piece of 1.5 inch wide, 1/8 inch thick aluminum. And then I got this tube. This tube is actually 1/2 inch diameter, which is bigger than I'd want, but you can only get so much at the store, around here anyway. And then I got some 1/4-20 stainless bolts and 1/4-20 stainless lock nuts. That should be everything I need to actually make this thing correctly. So let's get back underneath the car and give it another shot. Okay, I was already underneath the car and I tried to kind of eyeball up where this needs to go. Basically, if I keep this front edge 2 inches in front of the original hole, that should be good. So the original hole will be about there. So I'm pretty much just gonna make this the same width as it is. So 14.5. See, I almost screwed that up again. 14.5 for each piece, not 9.5 like I made it the last time. Let's get this cut. Okay, got them cut, cleaned up, got the sticker off of them. So now it's getting marked up to drill some holes. We know, like I said earlier, you need to be 2 inches from this outside edge to that first hole. So that makes it a little bit easier than the last time I did this because I have a starting point. So because we know we have 1/2 inch OD tubing that we're going to use as a spacer, I'm just going to go 1/4 inch off the edge for my center of my hole. While I'm marking everything up, I measured the transcooler bracket that's built into it. The holes are about 1/2 inch off of the outside edge. So I'm just going to put a scribe line on both these pieces, 1/2 inch out from the ends to give me at least in the ballpark of where the holes need to be. I'll figure out the spacing from the edge once I get it up in the car and can measure some stuff. All right, let's drill some holes. Okay, we're back underneath the car. Got the brackets mounted to the stock holes. Ignore those extra holes on the back side. I don't know what happened there. The only problem I'm kind of seeing right now is how tight it is to the body. On this side, it's not so bad because these are bolts that go up into kind of little tabs. But on the other side, it's a little tight. So I actually had an idea and I tested it out. Not sure if so this is a riv nut or an insert nut, or there's a couple different terms for it. But basically they're meant for sheet metal and they squeeze down this way. And this ribbed part here kind of folds out and sandwiches the sheet metal between this top lip and the lip that's created with this ribbed part. Like I said, they're meant for sheet metal, and this bracket I'm making this out of is 1/8 inch thick. So here's one where I just drilled a hole, inserted it in there, and you can see it squeezed out to the sides, but it didn't really kind of fold over. So then the next thing I tried was I used a Forstner bit, which is usually meant for wood. This is the smallest one I had, and kind of took away some material, and you can see how it rolls that up. And that's what you're wanting it to do, because then it bites into the material and holds really strong. Obviously that looked like crap. I did try over here to do a better job with it. It didn't do any better. It still looks like crap. So we're not going to do that. What I ended up doing was I found a larger bit and just used that to drill down, and that looks pretty good to me actually. So that's what I'm going to do. Now I'm going to go underneath the car, mark out the holes, and start getting this all drilled and set up for the riv nuts and see what we could do. Let's try and clamp at least one of the corners. Okay, brackets are done, drilled, rib nuts are put in, spacers are made, deburred, ready to go. I think we're ready to see if this goes in the car. Okay, well, a little bit of alignment issues getting it in. Not that big of a deal. There's some wiggle room in most of the holes. Really, the holes that attach it to the car have the wiggle room. So, kind of hard to get up there. Not impossible, but first time putting it up, it went okay. But it turned out pretty good. See what we're working with here. So, it's solid. That thing ain't going anywhere. These spacers are about 1 inch. It's really hard to tell, but there's already probably 3/4 of an inch or so from this surface to the top of the cooler. So it already has some airflow around it, but it could get air up here, a little bit more around it. Show you the back side real quick. It's a lot darker back here, but you get the idea. But that is done. On to the next thing.